Until the 2015 NBA season, the NBA playoffs were based on how teams did in their own division. Not until 2015 did the NBA switch to its current playoff seeding, where teams are seeded based on how well they did in the East and how well they did in the West. This is a way better system to set up the playoffs. But in today's video, we're going to be going back in time and we're going to be finding out what the best division in the NBA is. So there are 6 divisions in the NBA. We're in NBA 2K19 right now, and we've created 6 different teams based on which division each player plays for. And we got the best players from each division, team them all up, and we're going to be finding out which division is the best.
Came through dripping Aquafina, I'm sipping 15, kept a weapon on me. Blow make digits, I'm on my business, stack chicken like what it's gonna be.
So starting off here, we got the Atlantic Division. We got Kevin Durant. He's a newcomer to the Atlantic Division this year. We got Joel Embiid, Kyrie Irving, and also another newcomer. We got Ben Simmons, Kemba Walker, Al Horford, Tobias Harris, Julius Randle, Pascal Siakam, Jason Tatum, Kyle Lowry, DeAndre Jordan, Marc Gasol, Spencer Dinwiddie, and last but not least, we got Serge Ibaka. So that is going to be our Atlantic Division team. Up next, we got the Central Division. We got Giannis, Victor Oladipo, Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond, Zach LaVine, Eric Bledsoe, Kevin Love, Chris Middleton, Lauri Markkanen, Malcolm Brogdon, Miles Turner, Sabonis, Derrick Rose, Otto Porter, and last but not least, TJ Warren. So that's going to be our Central Division right there. And then our last Eastern Division, we got the Southeast Division, led by John Wall. We got Jimmy Butler, Nikola Vucevic, Bradley Beal, Trae Young, John Collins, Goran Dragic, Aaron Gordon, Jabari Parker, Kelly Olynyk, Bam Adebayo, Evan Fournier, Terrence Ross, Mo Bamba, and Thomas Bryant. That's going to be our Southeast Division. Now moving over to the West, we got the real stacked Pacific Division. Like, all the best players went to the Pacific teams this NBA offseason. We got LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Stephen Curry, Anthony Davis, Paul George, Klay Thompson, Devin Booker, D'Angelo Russell, DeMarcus Cousins, Lou Williams, DeAndre Ayton, Montrezl Harrell, De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, and Draymond Green. This is the team I think is going to win, and I think they're going to win quite easily because, I mean, just look how stacked their team is. Next up, we got the Southwest Division. We got James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Porzingis, Aldridge, Clint Capella, DeRozan, Doncic, Drew Holiday, Jonas Valanciunas, Brandon Ingram, Derek Favors, Zion Williamson, Rudy Gay, Dwight Howard, and Jaren Jackson Jr. And then finally, our last team is going to be the Northwest Division. We got Damian Lillard, Nikola Jokic, Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, Chris Paul, Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley, CJ McCollum, Gallinari, Yusuf Nurkic, Steven Adams, Hassan Whiteside, Paul Millsap, Bogdanovich, Jamal Murray. And that is going to be our Northwest Division right there. And that's going to leave us with all our teams. Leave your comment down below on which team you think is going to win this. I'll put a vote up on the screen if I can actually fit that many votes in it, that many teams in the vote. And you can vote as well who you think is going to win. Alright, so I went ahead and made custom logos for all of the teams as well. As you can see, I combined all 5 teams from each division together to create their new logo. So we'll just go over all these logos so you guys can actually check them all out. Pacific Division logo, Southeast Division logo, Southwest Division logo, and then last but not least, we got the Northwest logo. And I also made custom jerseys for all these teams as well. They are super ugly because I kind of just combined all of the teams in each division together and they turned out pretty ugly, but you guys will see that later in this video. Let's just get right into the season and find out which one of these teams does the best. Also, I forgot to mention that the rest of the teams in the NBA are just a bunch of like 50 and 60 overall free agents, so they are all awful. When these teams face off against them, it's pretty much a free win for them. The only games that actually matter are when they face off against each other. Other than that, they're going to win every other game. Alright, so we made it to the end of the season. MVP goes to LeBron James. Pete McLeod gets Rookie of the Year. We don't have any other rookies. I mean, we had Zion on a team, but I'm assuming he didn't play at all. Damian Lillard gets Sixth Man of the Year, not even starting. I don't know how Lillard wasn't starting during the regular season on this team, considering he's the highest overall point guard. I mean, you got Conley, Chris Paul, but Lillard apparently the sixth man. Anthony Davis, Defensive Player of the Year. Why does it show that jersey out of all the ones that I made for the teams? Nikola Jokic gets Most Improved. He got a double-double throughout the season. And Billy Donovan gets Coach of the Year. And that's going to be for the Northwest Division. So it looks like Northwest Division might be the best team. But as you can see, the Atlantic Division goes 78. Check out all the All-NBA teams right here quick. And also the All-Defensive teams. So we're going to come right over to standings here. Going to the East, the Atlantic Division is going to get the best record in the East with a record of 78 wins. They only lost 4 times against these other teams. This isn't really too good just because of all the other teams in the league. We'll get to watch them all face off in the playoffs though. But Southeast comes second and Central third. Southeast is a pretty awful division right now. They do not have many good players other than like Jimmy Butler. I was not expecting them to do this good. I mean, I guess they do have John Wall, Bradley Beal as well, but they're not as strong. The Bucks, they got some great players on their squad. Going over to the West, though, Northwest Division is going to come at the top. They're actually tied with the Pacific Division, and then Southwest at the bottom of the West. Going over to our All-Star participants, you can check out everybody that did make the team. It's just going to be the top players from all of the teams, and then we can also go over here to season stats. Check out the league leaders. Check out like the top 5 and points per game and everything like that. The scoring is going to be pretty low because there's so many great players on each team. They're going to have to share the ball quite a bit. This dude pulled 17.1 rebounds per game. He's 6'11". He's a 64 overall. I mean, he's going to get eliminated real quick in the playoffs, but he did very good rebounding. James Harden, top assister. Here's steals per game, blocks per game. We always see Anthony Davis up there. And then we have a bunch of players that weren't on these teams, probably from facing off against those garbage teams, which is why the stats don't mean too much. So the first seed pretty much gets a bye to the conference finals, and then the third and second seed are going to have to face off against each other in the second round of the playoffs. So let's just simulate this first round of playoffs. None of our teams should lose. It should be 4-0 sweeps for all of them, and it does look like it was 4-0 sweeps for everybody. So our first games, we got the Southeast Division facing off against the Central Division, and the Pacific versus the Southwest Division in the West. So let's see which of these teams are going to move on. Game 1, Southwest takes it against the Pacific Division. Southeast takes game 1 in the East. Let's do always simulate right there. We can simulate these games at the top because they're going to win quite easily. Pacific Division ties it up over in the West. Central ties it up in the East. Pacific and Central both taking a lead now, and it's tied up in each division. Let's go to the West first. Who's going to take the 3-2 lead? It's the Pacific Division. And in the East, it is the Southeast Division. Let's see if either of these teams can move on in this game. With 33 seconds left in the game, the Pacific Division is up by nearly 20 points, so they are going to be moving on to the next round. You can see our really ugly jerseys here. For some reason, this team is not wearing any of their jerseys, which is kind of disappointing. I mean, I guess we'll see the Pacific Division again later, but they are going to be moving on to the next round. The Division is going to defeat the Southeast Division in game 6, so we're going to a game number 7. And the Central Division takes game number 7 quite easily right here. You got to check out these real ugly jerseys I made yet again. So they're going to be moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals. So we have our conference finals matchups here. Let's see who will make it to the NBA Finals. Are the first seeds going to move on, or are there going to be some upsets? So it looks like a 2-0 lead for both the Northwest Division and the Central Division. In the East, and the Pacific and Atlantic both get a game right there, and each series is now tied up 2-2. Central takes a 3-2 lead, and Northwest is now down. And the Central Division up huge in game number 6, so they are actually going to move on to the NBA Finals, and they're going to be the best team in the East, which is kind of surprising because the other division is super stacked. You got the Raptors, Celtics, Nets, and 76ers in that division. So very surprising that they didn't end up winning. And in the West, the Northwest Division is going to force a game number 7. Let's see who's going to take this. And the Northwest Division is going to win game number 7. They're up by 13 with 50 seconds left, so it should be an easy W for them. So the Northwest Division, I was not expecting this at all. I thought the Pacific Division was going to win really easily, considering they got the Lakers, Warriors, Clippers, Kings, and 76ers, but they end up losing, so 2 huge upsets in each division. You guys can check out the ugly jerseys we made for these teams as well. Now we don't have to look at them anymore. So according to 2K, the 2 best divisions in the NBA are the Northwest Division and the Central Division. Let's see which one takes the cake as the best division in the entire NBA. It is all tied up at 2-2 in the NBA Finals. Northwest Division up 3-2, and the Northwest Division is going to take home the championship right there. Nikola Jokic ends up getting Finals MVP, which is kind of surprising out of everybody on that team. Anyways, though, that's going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy it and you aren't subscribed to the channel already, make sure to subscribe and smash that like button. This has been your boy Smequle, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression, it's all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the